What's up with this jealousy? One more time. What's up with this jealousy? Yeah. Yes, y'all. I love it when you hate. Now let's calculate, take it straight, take it to your face. So wherever you lay, what up, guys? What up? What up? What up? Good to see y'all. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of Loungin. We are chilling. NERDSoulite is getting his rest on. Before y'all even start, he getting his rest on. We got Dave Farrar with Geek Fine Art behind me, and I am joined by the ultimate, the amazing, the other half, the rib, just Lady Lisa. What's up?
Hey y'all.
Give him a little more volume.
Oh, hey y'all.
Oh man. So, guys, we got a cool show. We got a cool show coming up for you. You know what? I want to get some light stuff out the way. Um, we saw the news come through about Julia Roberts
Mm.
possibly being possibly being considered for Harriet Tubman, and the idea that it happened a long time ago. Ain't nobody gonna remember. Like, okay, I know a lot of people might throw up stuff about you know race swapping and this and the third, but that's on fictional characters, not people that actually like live their lives. Like, it's just crazy, right? It's crazy. I just wanted to handle that lightly and just throw it out there that this is crazy on just the level of craziness. Now we got some folks in the chat going to hit that thumbs up. We got Open Mind in the house. What up? Hitting you with the strong. Got Therese. What up? What up in the house? Nice to see you. Going to hit that thumbs up. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs down. If you hate it, or if you hate it, I'm gonna send Harriet Tubman after you. You don't want that, especially not now, because you've seen the comic book. Harriet Tubman is now a demon slayer as well. So you don't. I'm just saying, you don't want that beat. But another small thing I wanted to get to is last week we talked about Lakeith Stanfield and what's his name, Charlemagne the God. And since then, shouts out to Thought Crimes. He did an interview on Thought Crimes to clarify his statement. And last week it seemed like he was just with the assault rifle spraying, but he came on, clarified that he was like, no, I'm speaking directly to just Breakfast Club, the Shade Room, and like World Star Hip Hop, instead of what I and many others thought as using them as the example of black media. So shouts out to Thought Crimes, shouts out to Lakeith Stanfield, who watches the show. Of course he does. But anyway, just saying that he clarified his statement. So now I ain't got no beef with him. I don't have a problem with him making specific statements. It's just that I thought he was blanketing us. And I'm like, don't blanket us, especially not blanketing us with that. But with that said, that was dope to see him come through, clarify a statement, and actually kind of like handle some questions about whether he'd be interested in speaking with, whether it's Charlemagne or whoever else on the same topic. Because you saw when, I don't know if you remember, he was on the Breakfast Club about 3 years ago now. I don't know, it was a while back, but they were acting funny style to him. So anyway, with that said, that's out the way. Now the biggest thing this week that's gone on that I said to you when we were talking about is Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. And we've had the fallout for the workout and all that good stuff. Let me get your perspective on just Colin Kaepernick without the extra we'll get to later, but just Colin Kaepernick as he stands right now.
I mean, really just in terms of the whole thing with the workout or whatever they were calling it. I don't see why people are just so up in arms about the whole thing. Like you and I were talking about, it's like people feel like we now own Colin Kaepernick, like he's supposed to always answer to us.
Okay.
And I don't really think that's fair. Um, and I think people are upset mostly because he hasn't given all this extra detail about everything that's gone down. Like he hasn't given a report of exactly what went down, how it went down, and we being black as black people, when I say we, I mean black people, feel like we are supposed to know all this, and because we don't, of course, what we do is we assume and we make up what must have happened or what probably happened, and Colin Kaepernick is this and he's that, and I don't think that's something fair to put on him. Like I said, I don't think in a million years when he did this original protest taking a knee, I don't think he pictured himself having to lose his whole career over that, and that's what has happened. And if he has an opportunity to get that back now or not, either way, I think, he has the right to do that. It may not be done in a way that we think it should be done or we approve of, but we don't own him.
Okay. Now, and how, I come through with it. He, with him living such a public life, you kind of gotta, it's weird because I see where you're coming from with the, like not giving us a report. You know what I'm saying? But he lives such a public life, also with his girlfriend out there pumping up stuff about, coons and this, that, and the third. It lends people to say, well, you're living so publicly. Why is this the thing that you're so quiet about when this is the reason that you even got us on board and now you're not saying so? And when you don't, and not saying, not saying that we need like line items, but when you don't speak, people do, they either insinuate or they assume. And my thought is to kind of eliminate a lot of that assumption is to make maybe not like a press conference, but it would be nice to hear something at least around the topic or about what his thoughts are. But then we also know that he had, he had the lawsuit with the NFL, and the idea is that from that lawsuit that he is not able to speak about, speak about this issue with, of course, the general public. So now that, of course, I don't have the dot. Nobody really has like the I guess the secure documents or whatever, but it does leave a lot to the imagination. And I think that he, in a way, has put himself in, I don't know. He stood up and was like, yo, I'm doing this because of police brutality. I have the platform where people will actually listen to me. So I'm standing up and I'm saying something. And then people are like, oh, word. So since you're saying something and since you're, kind of like becoming this person, we kind of expect you to make statements or at least let us know what's going on. And when
what,
people,
though?
well, for instance, like right now, what's going on with the workout or what's going on with the NFL. But then I do also understand those are conversations that might need to be private because he might be signing a deal or this, that, who knows? Because I mean, he had the Nike deal, he had the lawsuit, and then there might be another NFL team interested in right now, but he can't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And with all that said, we still end up, unfortunately, getting further removed from what he used his platform for.
Right.
Which is, hey, police brutality is going on. It's bad. No one else at my level is standing up for it. And I need to stand up and make a particular statement. And I said this similar to when the whole thing with the Clippers went down. I was like, people need to realize they have more power than the organization. If the Clippers, they and I can't get in those men's head. But if when that came out and they said, you know what, I'm not playing another game until he's gone. I bet you that would have moved a lot faster than anything else. I bet you if when the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick went down, if brothers in arms lockstep not only in the NFL but in the NBA and said, we ain't throwing another pass, we ain't slamming another ball, we ain't doing nothing until y'all do right by Colin Kaepernick, and also fund or lobby this legislation that we have ready already to reform policing in our cities, at least in the cities where the players are at. Like there's things that you can do to push culture. There's things that you can do to influence those around you. You may not have all the money in the world, but you have the cultural capital. Imagine if this happened to Colin Kaepernick and LeBron James. Kobe was Kobe playing at the time? I can't remember. I can't remember when Kobe left. So say Kobe, whether he's playing or not, Kobe stood up. Dwayne Wade, like a couple of players from the NBA stood up and said, "Look, we ain't playing." And then everybody fell in line with them. And then people from the NFL fell in line and they said, "Look, we're brothers together. These are all of us athletes are standing up and we ain't playing no games no more. This is what we want. This is what we want from the police. And we know you, the NFL, lobbies all the time to get your stadiums up in cities. So now we need you to lobby to get this reform pushed through so that policing can change in our neighborhoods." That would be revolutionary.
Yeah.
But we don't get that. We get this brother out here on his own, kind of flapping in the wind, and nobody's saying nothing. And not saying that Colin is any kind of like saint or anything, but you ain't see nobody else standing up. You ain't see nobody else standing up with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I'm not here to say that he's like above reproach, but I'm also saying like, yo, man, dude kind of stood up and said something where nobody would. I mean, let's be for real. The president of the United States barely said anything. Let's just keep that 100. Big shout out to Therese, said, "Man, I love this channel, man. Yo, love y'all too. Glad y'all came through." Big shout out to Lotus Scholar. Ain't seen you in a minute. What up, what up, what up? So you have that issue with it. And the fallout from the workout, and him wanting it to be kind of transparent so you show everything. Because going into the other issue with Terrell Owens, he did make a good statement of if the NFL had it their way, they could chop and cut the workout in a certain way.
Right.
And then they could show all the bad moments and say, well, this is why we're not hiring him.
Right.
Because he's not running as fast.
Right.
Or he's not jumping as high. Or he's not throwing as far as he used to.
Yeah, and reading, the link that you showed me, Colin Kaepernick, he wanted media.
Yeah.
Because of course, that makes it less of, the NFL just has, the ability to film this and cut it how they want. He wanted media.
Yeah.
They didn't want media. And my question
and that's weird because
my question
media is
why
always allowed to work out.
So, in terms of that,
you knew something was shady. Exactly. When they said they didn't want no media, it's like, why?
Exactly. And, I just look at it as this. Colin Kaepernick I believe, just had his reasons. He and his lawyers, they had their reasons for handling the whole thing the way they did. I'm sure Colin Kaepernick has his reasons for not coming out and really talking about this whole thing right now. And I mean, I just feel like black people jump up and down sometimes, and like we expect too much from people. And again, we feel like we own people. Once somebody stands up, we feel like because Colin Kaepernick did take a knee and he did start the whole thing, that we now own him and that he's supposed to do whatever we say he's supposed to do, and he's the black representative, and it's like, leave the man alone. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he did that, but beyond that, we don't own him in terms of even what he decides to do or not to do with the NFL.
All right, and I will jump on that, and with that thinking, to a certain degree, I feel like we've, I guess, maybe requested more of him than we've requested from like actual politicians and like people that say like we're requesting more from Colin than we're requesting from like Al Sharpton or Roland Martin or any of these people that are like we activists, we the activists in the streets. You know, so I will give you that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't, it's weird. You have someone like Malcolm X. And like we don't own Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand that it's weird. It's like you take some ownership in what he represents, but you don't own him. Right. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Vivi in the house. What up? What up? Great to see you. Therese says every time someone says the president of the United States, I still think of Barack as the president. I keep forgetting old boy with the hairpiece is the president now. Yeah.
Don't we all?
Oh man. Old boy with the hairpiece. You know what? I'm not mad at that name. So we get into a new issue because this Colin Kaepernick situation has now become more, once again, we're not talking about police brutality that is still happening to black people everywhere. No matter look, you hear them coming for us now. You got, see, you got duck, lay low, man. You don't never know what's going to happen. So you have people, whether they're in Florida or Kentucky or New York or Montana, California, police brutality and racism inside the structure. These emails or Facebook groups, all that stuff is still going on. But now it's becoming about Colin Kaepernick's workout.
Yeah.
Will he get a job back? Which is part of it. But I think that even he would even say like, yo, we're kind of missing the point to a certain degree. But we had, of course, people in sports world have to talk about this. And there's a moment with Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens. And Terrell Owens is not he's not known as a black leader. Terrell Owens is mostly known for foolishness. Great player, foolish person. Hall of Fame player, foolish person. And in going back and forth between Stephen A's position of like, yo, man, you put yourself out here, you know good and well people gonna want to know what's up. From Terrell Owens being like, yo, like, this is just what he wants from the NFL, and he doesn't owe the NFL anything, blah, blah, blah. And the statement comes up because he's on the show with Max Kellerman as well, but Max Kellerman at the time isn't speaking. He says that Max Kellerman is blacker than you are. And, well, not...
He said...
I think he said the way you're talking, it's like Max Kellerman is blacker than you, something like that.
No, he said at times,
okay,
Max is blacker than you are, is what he said.
All right, so all right, and first, matter of fact, Lotus Scholar says the activists in the streets, they're activists in the streets, but they don't have the streets behind them. Vivi said NFL was attempting to get Colin to sign that waiver. Yeah. He should sue the league again. Yeah, see, that's something that's interesting. And how they tried to get him, they almost tried to force him into something. The reason I go with you that he has grounds to probably sue is because they tried to impose upon him something that I don't think or even other sports analysts and whatever said that they don't require that of other players when they do workouts. You know, like high school workouts, the high school kids come in and like get their little early workout, or like college kids, or even like the NFL. They don't ask them to sign this stuff. You know, the media is always there.
And the waiver covered, because I read the article from the link you sent me. The waiver pertained to all teams in the NFL. And it's like, why? So it's pretty much saying that, you waive, I forgot exactly how it was worded. I have it up though. But it was pertaining to all of the teams. And from Kaepernick's point of view, from what the article was stating, was that he was afraid that they would come back later and say that this is like a way of kind of backing up a stance of, well, none of the teams have to employ you. You've signed this
Yeah.
waiver, and we're not in a position where we have to employ you, or I don't know. The whole thing does seem a little.
It's shady.
It's
We're going to say
shady.
it. It's
I
shady. The
don't I don't
NFL is
know.
being shady.
I don't know
The
what.
NFL is known all the way back since I remember when I was little. Bruce Smith. Yes, Bruce Smith. If you round 35, 36, 37, something like that, you remember Bruce Smith. Great player. Bruce Smith was talking about how the NFL was like a plantation way back in what, the 80s or something, the 90s, whenever he was playing. I remember that when I was little.
Yeah.
So you know it's even worse now.
I wonder what their real intentions were for the workout, because
their intentions were probably to shut him up.
Yeah.
Like, look, let's go in and have this workout, so shut up, get out of our face, and we don't have to hear this dumb shit again. You know what I'm saying? And so back to the statement of Max Kellerman, Terrell Owens, Stephen A. Smith. Terrell Owens says, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like Max Kellerman is blacker than you or whatever. Let me say this real quick. And Lotus Scholar said, I'm waiting for them to bring out Chad alongside of him. So here's, man, Ocho Cinco is just as foolish. Just as foolish. Anyway, there is no white person that's blacker than any black person. Let me say that unequivocally. Never. The black experience, especially in America, is very unique and distinct from the past to the present and most likely to the future. There is no one that has the right to tell any black man or woman that their counterpart of whiteness, of being white or Latino or whatever, is more black than they are.
Even Candace Owens.
I wasn't going to say her name. But let's say this. Candace Owens is a person. She exists. I do not agree with, I don't think there's anything I agree with her about.
I mean, we agree she's black.
I would never, well, yeah, I do agree that she's black. If she would own up to that, I guess she would. But I'll say this. Never in my life would I say that Ann Coulter or Tommy Lauren or any of those people are blacker than Candace Owens. Or is it Owen or Owens? I don't know. Whatever.
I really don't care.
I think it's Owen. Candace Owen?
I really don't care.
Yeah. So I would never say that. You want to know why? Because regardless of our differences, and there are many, regardless of our differences, she has lived a specific life and she has experienced specific situations, whether she may own up to them or, I don't know, I guess describe them the same as I would or not. Ann Coulter, Tommy Lauren, any other white woman has never lived them and will never live them due to the fact that they are white. So I would never say that. Conversations like this and verbiage like this is very dangerous, especially out in public.
And disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, go on. I don't want to, I'll let you go. Or you.
No, I was just going to say it's disrespectful more than anything. And I think Stephen A. Smith runs his mouth just entirely too much.
Yeah.
Just in general. He's always loud and on 10. It's like you come on 10, but that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
But regardless of any of that, how dare you disrespect another black person in that way and so casually?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is he did it in such a casual way. He heated off.
Yeah, and tried to giggle it back when he was pressed on.
And Stephen A. was like, what? And it's so disrespectful, and it was very childish. It was very childish, and even the way he did it was childish. The statement in and of itself was disrespectful and childish, and he's lucky Stephen A. didn't go harder on him than he did. But in saying that, I could tell not only was Stephen A. upset, but he was hurt. And I think the reason why he didn't go harder on him is because he was more hurt than he was angry.
Yeah, I agree with that one. VV says NFL has workouts on Tuesdays Teams aren't having workouts a day before Sunday. Teams are traveling to their games. It was a scam from the start. True. Vivi also says everyone knows Colin can still play. He doesn't need to work out. Teams be getting players who were bagging groceries a week before. NFL is something else. Yo, there's some busters in the NFL, but still. She said bagging groceries. Oh man, Lotus Scholar said having a black person as a sexual partner doesn't count either. Oh, Terrell Owens is, man, there's something that I don't like in this culture now of there's a certain way that you can call out someone black, but I think there's certain conversations that we're having in front of white people that we shouldn't be having in front of white people.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Some statement like he's blacker than you are is just like, what?
And
are you kidding me?
I felt bad for Max in that moment because he looked like a deer caught in headlights.
Yeah, Max was but Max did the right thing.
He shut up.
Shut up.
Because
Max was just like.
I think in that moment he's like, I don't understand what's happening now. Whatever is happening is not good. I don't want to be named in this. And so I felt bad for him because yes, it shouldn't have happened in front of him. It shouldn't have happened, period. But it definitely shouldn't have happened in front of him. And we got to stop that whole thing too. And this is kind of going left, but that also covers, using the N-word or I don't like saying N-word.
Yeah, it just covers those things.
Yeah,
Oh, and shout out to everybody in the chat. Go on and hit that like or hit that dislike, but hit that like because a couple of y'all up in there. I see y'all, and I'm gonna get to you, Jason, in a second. But I see y'all. Go ahead.
But I'm gonna just go ahead and say it because I don't like saying the N-word because that's not what people call you. They say nigger.
Yeah.
But I with us calling each other that word, with us using that word, it's we shouldn't anyway. That's just my opinion. But we definitely shouldn't in front of white people, and then jump on them about it. But yeah.
But you know how I feel about that.
Well, yeah.
You know how I feel.
Whatever.
I don't like the word. I don't think we should use the word. But regardless of whether I feel we should use the word, I know who should definitely not use the word is someone who don't look like me.
I agree with that, but
you aren't because I do believe in relationship. I do believe my mom can call my Uncle Barney.
That's different.
That's their relationship.
That's
or
different.
We've explained this before. Women call each other the B word.
And they shouldn't.
And I didn't say whether they should or they shouldn't. My relationship is not the same with them. So I cannot feel comfortable, or I shouldn't think I should be comfortable enough to go up to a group of women and say, hey, B. Why? Because I ain't no woman. And they don't know me like that. So I shouldn't, that's my only thing. But one thing I do know for sure is that it better not fall out of any person that look like some person that shouldn't be saying. Now, big shout out to Jason Vasquez. I hope I'm not screwing up your name. Jason says, Cap is a fraud. He used that PR workout as a PR stunt to film his commercial, sell his shoes and jersey in December. This dude never goes out there to talk about the real social injustice issues. Second, he says, and only shows himself to the press to talk his rhetoric about the NFL, about how the NFL is running from him. Cap has fooled you all. Stephen A. Smith was right. All right.
Boy, miss me with that. So go ahead.
You funny. All right. So let's say he's a fraud. Let's say he's a fraud, right? Was he a fraud when he was in the NFL, throwing touchdown passes, putting points on the board? Was he a fraud then? Or did he only become a fraud until after he called out American hypocrisy? That's all I'm asking you. Because see, if he wasn't a fraud before, why or what has changed to make him a fraud now? Is he a fraud now because he's calling out American hypocrisy and you don't like that? Or is he a fraud because he was always a buster when he came in the NFL and could never play? Because we have the stats and we have the tape to show the boy can play.
Yeah,
and nobody had an issue until he called y'all out.
If you say he's a fraud, then why do you think he took a knee?
Yeah, because if he's a fraud, what's now Jason might fire back and say, you know what, it's part of the woke economy. What?
But if he's a fraud, and he really didn't care about any of this. Well, first I want to know what you say his motivation for all of this was, and if he's a fraud and he was doing it for attention, why didn't he walk it back once he lost his job? Because he's a fraud. He don't really care about this, right?
Yep.
So if he really don't care about this, and once he lost his job, he should have did some serious backpedaling and been like, I ain't really mean it, y'all. I was just trying to get attention.
Yeah, and to say Stephen A. Smith was right about what?
Right.
Because to say he was right about what?
Yeah.
On to VV.
But we ain't gonna entertain this.
Yeah, we ain't going. It's just I just wanted to call him out because people jump in the chat and want to be spicy. So VV says Stephen is a conservative. He believes in working within the system, not challenging it for more radical change. As a people, we've been having this debate for 500 years. Work within or burn it. Therese says, LOL, who hit the dislike then liked? VV also said, what white player in recent history has been blackballed out of a sports league for his political views or activism? Yep, because we ain't seen nothing happen. Who was the boy that was praying? The boy that was praying at the Tebow?
Yeah.
The boy was praying.
Yeah.
Boy was praying. And we ain't seen no atheists out there like, get him out of the league. Get him out of here. We don't want it. I guess that's my atheist voice. I don't know.
Why you had to sound like Hulk Hogan?
But my issue with Stephen A. Smith being a conservative isn't as big as my issue with T.O. doing what he did. I know Stephen is a conservative, and there's nothing particularly wrong with that because straight up for a black man in media to get where he's gotten, and I'm pretty sure there's some of y'all that know, being black in the corporate world is not easy. Oh no, it's not easy. Because you take in that racism every day, whether it's microaggressions or maybe somebody forgets to, you ain't gotten a promotion in years, no, you killing it. So for him to maneuver his way, let's not discount that journey. With that said, we know he's conservative. So we know that it's going to be hard for him to jump on that train with, Colin Kaepernick. So I definitely agree with you, VV. He's conservative, so we already know kind of where he comes from. But there's a lot of people out there that kind of try to discount that journey. And if you've been black in corporate America in any sense of the word or in any organization, for you to get all the way where Stephen A. has gotten, you've got to respect the fact that he's endured some stuff. He's been in some rooms where he's had to navigate and be very political to get ahead. Because the bottom line is we still live in America. So there's only so much you can do. Now, he may be waiting till he gets a certain amount of power to make a move. I have no idea. But I can't discount because I know how it is to be in corporate America and try to maneuver as a black man. And it's not like he know I'll be sure or nothing either. He's just black. Oh man. So Jason said he's a fraud because he's using the kneeling to promote his brand. I would agree with you if he kneeled and when they asked him, why are you kneeling? He'd be like, yo, check it out. Colin Kaepernick album coming out Tuesday, or Colin Kaepernick shoes coming out next week. But he didn't. So yeah. Yeah. Nah.
So it's like in that
you missed me with that one.
In that rationality, he shouldn't even have a brand. Either he gonna kneel or have a brand. But if he has both, then you're just gonna always say that it's to promote the brand. And somebody's doing some serious smoking. Yeah, there's always going to be someone who's like, it's always going to be someone who's like, oh, well, they shouldn't make a dime because if they make a dime, it invalidates everything. And it's like, so that's just how he get down. So Therese says, I have no comment because I don't follow the story of this issue because I don't watch or follow sports. So it would be wrong for me to not care about
So would it be wrong for me to not care about any of this stuff? In the context of what the NFL is doing, it's not wrong because there's an issue outside. He used his platform in the NFL to be able to be heard. But what's going on, the actual issue that he's talking about or that he was representing is something that we can all be on. So we don't have to be specifically into the NFL to also know what's going on. Like, you didn't have to be into boxing to know what Muhammad Ali was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lotus Scholar said, to another black person, but he has to a white woman. Oh man, I think he said, but I guess because he's with a white woman, Terrell. So yeah, who knows? So with that said, we got one more thing that we wanted to talk about. It's kind of like a prevailing thing that's going on, and we're seeing more and more of it. Black love on television. There's been a couple of things that we've seen lately. Some of it is on OWN, and then some stuff I wanted to talk about from All American as well, that you brought up. But there's been shows like Black Love, the literal show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Ready to Love that are on OWN, and then also All American this week. We've been talking about just Black love on TV in general, and I guess I'll let you. I'll start off with the All American one. You brought up that all the black men on All American are bad examples of men. And I was like, okay, we got Corey. Now, if you don't watch All American, you just roll with it. It's a show about a kid. He's in high school. He plays football. He goes to Beverly Hills, which is a better school than South Crenshaw High School. Plays football, all that good stuff. So his dad left him when he was younger. His dad is not a good dad, even though we know he left kind of twice in his life. The first time he left, he actually had a legitimate reason to be angry.
Yeah, okay.
I think it should have been a situation where maybe he left for a couple of days, composed himself, and came back and figured it out. Whether they were going to divorce or not, that's another thing. But disappearing for years, I think he was gone for 10 years.
I don't know. We disagree on him leaving at all, because it's like, you got kids. You can be mad. Yeah. You can be mad with mama all day, but you can't just like up and disappear.
Yeah, but you're stuck in that house with her, and you got to look at her face.
You can leave the house. You don't have to leave your children to leave.
That's why I said go away for a couple of days, compose yourself.
Okay.
For a couple of days. I'm not saying leave for years and years.
No, I'm not.
Compose yourself.
Right, but I'm saying leave for a couple of days, but that doesn't mean leave the children. You still have to be involved in the children's lives.
You're not hearing me. What I'm saying is leave for a couple of days, then come back and work out whatever's going to go on, whether you're going to get divorced or not, but figure it out. That's what I'm saying. You're not leaving the kids' lives in my version. I said just go, get yourself together so you don't break nothing in the house, you don't jump kick nobody, and then you come back, and then you work out, what am I going to stay? Am I going to go? What are we going to do with the kids? All that stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's what he should have did. He didn't. He left for years and years. So bad dad. Then you got Tay Diggs. He cheated on his wife way back. Now, honestly, currently, he's kind of right. I mean, he didn't really do anything now-ish, but he's kept this secret of cheating on her for so long that it's thrown his, relationship upside down. That's another bad black dad. And then we got a third black dad that you know personally.
I mean, I don't know.
Look, he went to your high school.
I went to high school with him.
So you went to high school with him. The guy that plays the booster, the guy that's giving all the money to the high school. He's essentially trying to run the team because he pays money for like the suits or whatever, the helmets and all, and kind of pimping out his daughter. Yeah, trying to use his daughter to sway Spencer, who is the kid that plays football, to kind of like get on his side. So he's a bad dad. So we're looking at this show because the reason I started watching All American because I was like, oh snap, it's another black show on CW. Word, my brother told me it was dope. and I'm starting to look at the show, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad this is a black show, but it's interesting that all the men in this show that are black are doing something wrong or have some huge character flaw instead of just being black dads.
Oh,
Like,
don't forget the other dad. God, what's her name? Is it Layla?
oh, Layla's dad. Sorry. And Layla's dad is an absentee father. So there's no just structured, good black dads just chilling. Just no structured black dads just kicking it.
No.
They're not leaving you. They're not running away. They're not trying to pay off people and do dirty football games. They're just regular people, just going to work, coming home, chilling. And we were like, that's interesting. Then
Now,
there's the dark skin.
In all fairness, the one white dad that we can think of, he ain't a good dad either.
Yeah, Therese, the record producer, that's Layla's dad. Mr. Dr. Obo T or Obot, I don't know, whatever. Look, I got you. Dr. Obot, whatever you is.
Obo T.
Obo T. He said Black Lightning is a better show. Yes, but we ain't getting on Black Lightning right now. Right now we talk about All American. Talk about black love on TV. All the dads here are bad. I'm like, where the good? I'm like, how you gonna show this to us? And then another kind of thing they did that was egregious, or they showed Spencer's mom, who is definitely a dark-skinned black woman. And I'm glad, because we have a dark-skinned black woman,
but when they did
she's
flashback,
pretty and she's chilling. But they did a flashback. And when they did this flashback, she was
about 2 to 3 shades lighter in the flashback.
She was about 4 to 5 shades lighter.
I wouldn't say that much.
That girl was light.
She was about 2 to 3 shades lighter.
That girl was looking like the girl on Blackish. You know, coming through looking like Yara Shahidi.
Yara Shahidi is brown skin. What are you talking about?
That girl kind of light.
Compared to what?
She kind of light.
Compared to
you
what?
You need to see her in the right light.
What are you talking about? Yara Shahidi is not light.
She light.
She is not.
She light enough. She is light for my example.
Compared to who?
Look, the girl was light. All right. The girl, she
compared
had dark
to
skin.
Lupita
She was
Nyong'o,
dark skinned
yes.
in the future. She was dark skinned in the future, and she was light in the past.
She liked her, but not light. See, you be confusing light skin.
Look, I don't like it. I don't like what they were doing.
Light skin.
I don't like what they're doing with black fathers on All American. Now you do have Layla's father, who's the record producer. He's turning around. He's trying to be home and stuff, but there is no representation of a black father on All American, which is a black show, of course, on a white network, but because CW is CBS and Warner Brothers. But I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I agree.
So I don't like it. It's funny, Jason's still on that BS. We done with that. So anyway, then you have a show like Black Love. And Black Love is more of a documentary kind of show on OWN, and they talk to, married couples that are, have been through changes, been through ups and downs. And I think it's a great show.
It's awesome.
It's an awesome show for young black couples that are dating or even thinking about being together, people that are married, to watch and just see other people's experiences in the world as couples. And actually, it's made me have a better appreciation for Lisa, for my son, for everything that we have. It's an awesome show. They've talked to like Kevin on Stage. They've talked to old boy what was he on? ER? The brother on ER. He got that light skinned wife.
Yes.
Like you sitting there acting like you don't know.
Because I was trying to remember. Can I remember?
So they've talked to old girl. What's her name? She was on Posse. She's a director now. Sally Richardson, I think. But they talk to her. They have tons of couples that have just been instrumental in black culture in general, just like working in the industry, but actually taking time to talk about very important and distinct issues throughout their relationships. And it's great and it's awesome in contrast to what we see in scripted television, because the idea is like, whenever there's a relationship, especially in a context of a black community, there's always some friction there. And now you're seeing all these couples that are together and they've weathered the storm, and they've been together, and they, love each other more for it and stuff. You got the people from the Browns, and you got, what I'm saying? It's awesome, and I love that.
And they even had one couple where they had actually just gotten back together. They had been separated for some time, and I believe she said that he really just moved back in the house within the past year. And so that was very interesting because they were still, they clearly was still working some things out.
Yeah. Big shout out to Lotus Scholar said, man, I said the same about Power because most crime families on TV, even dysfunctional, can keep the family together, but not a black family doing crime. They all against each other. Yeah, don't get me started on Power. This season has been a pain point for me. But outside of Black Love, which is great, then you get into something that was weird for us, which was Ready to Love. Ready to Love is this show that on the surface seemed to be something that was right up our alley. It was like, we have these people in Atlanta that have been single for a while, and they're looking for something real. They want to be with someone that they can love and share their life with. And we're like, oh, snap, this is dope. This is going to be great. And then when you get into it and see what it's really about, it's the Black Bachelor. And it's just filled with foolishness.
With the twist.
But it's foolish.
It's foolishness.
It's a bunch of foolishness.
They premised it on, they understand that dating can be very difficult, specifically for black women in Atlanta, because the ratio is 1 to 20 pretty much in favor of men in Atlanta. And so they were just talking about how they wanted to set something up, so it was just a another way for them to date, which is okay, great. And it just turned out to be foolishness, because then what they do is they slowly eliminate people just for no reason. You just gotta eliminate somebody, and it's like, but if the point is for couples to be formed, why are you eliminating folks?
And why are you forcing them to kind of be against each other?
Exactly. So just the way they set up things.
The first season was just like,
you're not really setting this up for people to actually meet. You're setting this up for a show, and I know this is a business, but don't set it up in that way and say that's what it's for. Because just my thing, it would be better if you just, let it happen and film it happening. You can still have your, set them aside and talk to them and put them in situations where you send them out on a date, or, have them meet with their friends, which is all the stuff they did, which is fine. But just let the cameras follow them through the process versus forcing situations and randomly eliminating folks, because there were people they eliminated that were making
that already had a connection with someone.
Already had a connection with someone. And so then that person is forced to go to their second choice, as some of them even stated, the so-and-so is my second choice. Well, I ain't got no choice now because they done took so-and-so off the show. So what the freak? What are y'all doing?
A better setup for something for Ready to Love, if they were going to follow what they said in the first episode of season 1, is, okay, we got these people together. If you pair up and you find a real good connection, we'll take you guys off of the show and let you guys start your relationship and just follow and check in with your journey as a couple. Instead of trying to be like, oh, well, y'all can't get too connected. We got to force y'all to be in the show and see other people.
Yeah,
it was just weird, and it came off like a bait and switch fake Black Bachelor, and it was whack.
Yeah.
And it's still whack. And even in season 2, you see the quality of people has slowly dropped. Yeah. Probably because people saw the first season, was like, I'm good.
Yeah, and we didn't watch the whole first season, did we?
No, we didn't.
So we didn't.
We watched like the first 3 episodes, and then we just skipped to the end because we was like, we cool.
We were done. I think we watched.
We were like, we alright.
We watched the reunion.
Yeah.
Because we were interested in seeing if certain people got together, and found that a whole bunch of foolishness happened, and
Yeah,
we
because
found
those
that we
women
were,
that were all interested in them abs got
Yep.
you got what you paid
Yep.
for.
Because I remember I think I said he was going to be a troublemaker, and it was
Yep.
one lady I said was going to be a particular troublemaker, and it was foolishness.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
a
foolish.
whole lot of foolishness, and it's like this isn't any different than what you deal with in dating anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You just magnified it, and just it's very disappointing. Um, but then the other show that we do watch,
well, real quick before we get to that, Therese says they should bring back Lincoln Heights. That was a good example of black love to me that wasn't all toxic and destructive. Yo, straight up, shout out to Lincoln Heights because I drove past the house the other night that looked like the house on Lincoln Heights, and it took me back. Now, I ain't gonna front. Lincoln Heights, you're right. That was a dope show. It was a good dad. He was chilling. He had 3 daughters. He was just kicking it, and it wasn't nothing crazy. He wasn't like doing cocaine or had a drinking problem or nothing. He was just a good dad, just living his life, and they were a family, and they was just kicking it. All right? That's what. But Lincoln Heights, you know what I'm saying? Where it at? That's why I'm like, yo, what happened to Lincoln Heights? So big shout out to Lincoln Heights, dope show. But yes, there is one more show. What's the title of the said show?
Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Woo. Okay. This is another show that we both thought, oh, because see, we saw when it comes to OWN, we saw Black love first.
Yeah.
So we thought that all the shows pertaining to Black love or Black relationships on OWN would be more, I don't know, more positive, more grown up,
yeah,
more mature.
Yeah.
Not this basic. I mean, honestly, straight up, Ready to Love could be on. It could be on Bravo. It could be on any other network. It's the same basic retread stuff. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville, when you open up, it's like, yo, we got these 3 couples. They're in the business. They're working hard. They're in Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, and they're doing positive things in the community. And we're like, oh snap, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great, great, great. It's good-ish at times.
I mean, to be fair,
but it does get caught up in those kind of like, this is a reality show thing.
Yeah, to be fair, it still is, good. We're still watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're still watching it, and it's at the end because it's in the reunion. It went to the left. Like you said, It started off as, it brings you in terms of making you think it's about these power, and it is about these power couples that are into real estate in one way, shape, or form, whether it's selling real estate, whether it's building or what have you. And it's kind of going through their lives. Now, in all fairness, it's a reality show. We knew it wasn't going to be all about their business the whole time, but I never thought it would go, the way it's gone with such utter foolishness. But I wouldn't call it a bad show.
Yeah, it's not that the show is bad. There's certain situations,
and it's not. I have to say, it's
but
not putting.
The show gets bad because they follow the couples that are in the mess. They don't follow Kimmy and Maurice as much as they follow Martell and Melody.
Well, because they don't have as much going on. That's the thing.
Because but they Kimmy, do. They have a life. They still have a life going on. They just ain't fighting each other.
Kimmy and Maurice don't have as much going on because they, you know what I mean? They don't.
But they still have a life to live as a married couple, and they have a business that they're running. They can go into that. But it's almost like they're like, hey, this is about 3 couples, but we're going to focus on only the couple that's beefing. And then I'm like, well, then I know what you're trying to push. And it's like, we've just talked about 4 shows, and one of them has positive representations of Black people just alone.
Well, no, in all fairness, it's not that there's a bad representation of Black people in love and marriage. I wouldn't say that that's true. That's not a bad representation of Black people.
Okay, okay. A bad representation of Black marriage and Black relationships. And this is why I'll say this. Because we have focused maybe, I mean, we'd have to go back and watch, but maybe 70 to 80% of the time on arguing, bickering back and forth between either Melody and Martell or Melody and Tisha, instead of, remember when they were supposed to be working together and getting this land and helping out the black community and all this stuff in Huntsville? How much have we seen of that?
I see what you're saying, but I would only agree with you if they didn't have Kimmy and Maurice on there. I would agree with you.
That's why I said 80%. You get to see Kimmy sometimes. You get to see Maurice sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't want to say that they're just putting out a bad example of black. Because if that was the case, they'd be like, well, we just ain't gonna have Maurice and Kimmy on there at all. You know what I mean?
No, they have to put Kimmy on and Maurice on there to justify that they're like, oh no, we're still, this is still about the couples. Like, see, here's one good couple. Oh, cool, this is cool for 5 minutes. Back to the other 45 minutes of arguing. Like,
but in all fairness,
we can even look at the reunion. How much time was given to Melody and Martell back and forth, and Melody and Tisha back and forth, to Kimmy and Maurice?
Well, we haven't seen the other half yet.
I can't wait until we do. So next Sunday we'll probably be off because it's a holiday weekend, but I can't wait until we do. Because I'm pretty sure we are not going to see any, we probably won't even hear about this land and hear about these homes that they done made for black people. Remember? Because even in the opening of the show, it's like, we're doing things for the community, black people being representations of blackness, and it's like, where that? Where that? And that's what I paid to see. Where that? Meanwhile, I'm seeing y'all arguing about cheating and seeing y'all arguing about mamas in the house or something, and we ain't seeing no black upliftment.
Not upliftment.
Yeah, I said it. Therese says, what type of show genre would y'all like to see that y'all haven't seen come from black TV? What I would like to see come from black TV, and especially, this is something that I've wanted from Tyler Perry for a long time. I mean, I don't want him to write it, but I would love to see some type of black sci-fi. And I know sci-fi is pricey. You know what I'm saying? You look at Star Trek Discovery, or you look at Star Wars Mandalorian. Those are not cheap shows, and I know it's a lot cheaper to make House of Pain or make Have and Have Nots than it is to make Star Trek Discovery. But that's something that I would like us to control our stories about how the future is, about how space is, whether it's Afrofuturistic, whether it's sci-fi, whether it's time travel, something like that, because that's what I'm into. I grew up reading comic books. So I would like to see, something, or I also, I like, I'm into like the political intrigue. So I would love to get, a Blacklist, but that was black. Blacklist, or something like Blind Spot, but just from a black perspective. I would like to see something like that because I love action and I love sci-fi.
Scandal.
Scandal was, what I mean by political intrigue is like adding in more of like the FBI, the CIA, stuff like that. That's what I mean. Secret documents, people, covert stuff, things. But yes, you did have Scandal, which was hot for one season, and then the rest I was cool. No, the first 2 seasons, right? Because whenever they resolved the Scantron or Citron storyline.
I watched Scandal for quite some time. I just got, I don't even know when I stopped watching. I got sick of Olivia, isn't that her name? Olivia.
Yeah, Olivia?
Olivia?
Kerry Washington's character.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
Whatever
that
girl name is.
I got sick of her going back to the president with her quivering lip.
Man, her lips be quivering so much.
That lip one more time.
Kerry Washington was always about to cry.
I was just like, she was the most intelligent, powerful, woman on the show.
But then she wanted that white.
When it came to him, she was just dumb. And I got so tired of her going back to him. I got tired of black men trying to get her, and she had nothing for him. But she in and out of the bed with all these white men. I got tired of it. And I was just like, I just can't.
Sick of it.
I was like,
I'm glad that's coming from a black woman instead of me, because if it come from me, the sister be like, you hate, you just hate, you just hate.
I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know,
I'm like, I say the same thing when it's a brother on TV. I be like, there ain't no sisters in that school. There ain't no sisters at that job. None, nowhere. Y'all ain't got none. But Therese said, I kind of feel like when it comes to TV and movies, we sometimes see the same 3 or 4 genres. Yeah, it's because in a lot of cases, you know, our productions don't get the same funding or the same, you know, or the same, I guess, the same doors, you know, to walk through as other productions that are not black productions. And but I would love to see, go.
I was going to say, what I would love to see is, and this is something Tyler Perry could do since he has the studios in ATL, but I would love to see them make a reality show where they do actually follow, ATL is a perfect place, follow black business owners, and follow their journey, new business owners, you know, business owners or entrepreneurs that have been thriving for some years, and follow, you know, them through that whole journey. I think that would be really, really awesome to see, and that's kind of celebrating that and also just showing, because ATL is supposed to be like, you know what I mean, the hot spot for black entrepreneurship and
I'm down with it unless it goes down into the dribble.
Yeah,
again.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually showing them in terms of their business. I'm not talking about even.
I want to see the business.
I'm not talking about even getting into their personal life at all. I'm talking about focusing just on that and just, you know, that kind of making it almost like, pretty much like a documentary. But I think that would be really great.
Yeah, that could be cool. And because there are many, and you know, following their day to day, their operations, the stuff they have to order, how they make payroll, all that stuff, that would be great. And nobody yelling and screaming and getting drunk and doing some stupid stuff. That would be awesome. Shout out to Lotus Scholar. I want to see a black sci-fi with space battles, and you got them getting lit like Tuskegee Airmen. That would be sweet. I'm down with space battles. Like, I'm down with space battles, so I love that. So yeah, but with that said, I know how it comes when it comes to us getting funding, but I hope that in the next 5, 10, 20 years, that'll change with Tyler Perry Studios, because you'll have someone that will be able to kind of hopefully foster that and kind of, because I know it's easier to make the kind of like, you know, the House of Pain or Have and Have Nots. I know it's easier because you got 2 people chilling in the room talking, and that's it. And there ain't a car chase. There's not a shootout. Like, okay, The Mandalorian, and this is not to spoil anything for the very new episode, but the newest episode, there's 2 gunfights in the same episode. You got to pay for choreography. You gotta pay for you know, stuntmen, and you know, all, and that stuff is time and money. So I understand that, but that's just something that I would like to see. From television, when it comes to Black love, it seems like we could still use a more positive push, a more positive bent, at least from what I've just seen this week alone. And that's without getting into all of the other like reality shows and all that craziness. But guys, we good. We right. We finish it up. We great. We good now. So big shout out to everyone that came through. We got Open Mind in the house. We got Therese in the house. We got Lotus Scholar coming through. VV. Even big shout out to what was that dude's name that was coming trying to be spicy? Jason Vasquez. I really hope I ain't screw your name up. But then we got Mr. Dr. Bot. I don't know, Dr. Obot, whatever. But I feel you too. We cool. Man. And big shout out to Lotus Scholar referencing gargoyles. Yes, she has been a voice and a director for quite some time. So Sally Richardson, and I think it's like a hyphenated last name, something like that. She's dope. She's been awesome. So she's cool. So guys, before I get out of here, Lady Lisa, tell them what up.
Hey, what's up?
You saw that, right?
What?
I'm saying.
What happened?
You were just like, hey.
Hey.
Anyway, guys, Thank you for chilling. NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Holla at your boy. We can talk gaming. We can talk some reality TV. I don't watch it all. Some. I get to see some ATL with you every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So I know a little bit about what's going on. Not everything, but I know a little bit. And then, of course, big shout out to Geek Fine Art behind me. You know what I'm saying? For the artist-sponsored wall. Check him out, Geek Fine Art. Also, right now on the channel, we ran out Titans, which was dope. We ran out Mandalorian new episode, which is dope. I have a panel from yesterday, art, design, and counterfeiting when it comes to brands from DesignerCon. I got some interviews from DesignerCon coming today. And I think that's about it. We'll get into some cool stuff. Of course, tomorrow we have Black Lightning and all that stuff, and we'll get into the holiday. Oh, no Beach Vibes Life this week or next week, but we'll be back into some good stuff very soon. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in the comments. Thank you for chilling, and until next time, peace. It's the 788 DDT and just like Jake the Snake. Actually, we don't participate, but if you do, then I'm gonna see you at your weight. Peace. Don't let the drama fluctuate. Don't wanna, I gotta, because it states, where will we be at if it let you do that? We probably be laying on our backs. Peace.